everybody, we are Mike and Brenda Baker, and today we're going to talk about a very controversial subject. Should you parent your adult child?
All right, should you parent your adult child? Well, you need to look out there, helicopter parents, because I'm coming for you. All right. Let's talk about why the helicopter parent model has never worked. Now, what is a helicopter parent? The one that hovers over their kids all the time. All right. Oh, Billy, you need to not do. Oh, whoa, Billy, hang on. Oh, be careful. Oh, my goodness, no! You need to put your coat on. You need to put your hat on. You need to, mom, dad, whoever it is, shut up.
Yes.
All right. If your kid scrapes their knee, they'll live. Get a Band-Aid. All right. If your kid doesn't want to eat something, that's great. Put it away. Let them. And every time they say, "I'm hungry," you put that same food right in front of them, and I guarantee you, with a little work on your part, that will not be a problem anymore, all right? We had 5 boys, and a couple of them...
2 of which were extremely picky eaters.
Very picky eaters.
They learned to eat.
And you know what? Now they'll all eat pretty much. Now they can all pick. They're all adults, okay? They can all pick what they want. And on Sundays, we have a family day, for instance, and we have the one kid who still doesn't want the same thing as everybody else. Yeah. You know what we do? Well, that's great. That's a great idea. We're going to do this, and you go get that for you because... everybody else wants to do this.
Yeah.
And he's okay with that. Why? Because we hurt his feelings early on and he got over it. Okay. So don't be afraid.
But we didn't
because we told him no.
Well, we expected him to eat what he was given.
Exactly. And he kept getting it until he ate it.
And we didn't give him huge portions.
No.
Okay? And he didn't die. He didn't starve to death. Nothing. And he is our strong-willed child.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your children will live if they don't eat for a couple of days. If they just pick at things. Don't give them snacks. Make sure they have a healthy amount of water. No juice. They won't die. This is what your grandparents did with your parents. It was okay. No one died.
And if you think your parents were too hard, maybe you need to look in the mirror. So, look, I'm not saying starve your child. She's not saying starve your child. We came up with a rule in our house, and I'll tell you about it now. The rule was, and this actually helped us get past a ton of food problems, all right? Why am I mentioning food problems specifically? Because this is where a lot of helicopter parents struggle, all right?
Well, it's where they start,
so
wouldn't you say?
No, I think it's where they struggle overall. Because what you've done is you've given, as a helicopter parent, you're giving your kids too many choices, okay? Would you like the red cup or the green cup, Billy? Would you like the red plate or the blue plate? Would you like, all right, you know what the kid needs? He needs a plate, he needs a cup, and he needs food, and he needs you to be a parent. Now, the whole point of the food is we gave the kids a rule. You have to take one bite, not a little teeny bite. You have to take one regular bite. You have to chew it, you have to swallow it, and if at that point you don't like it, you don't have to eat any more of it. But at the same time, we're not going to fix something special for you because you don't like it.
And a lot of the times, this was at potlucks or people's houses when they weren't used to the weird foods that sometimes we were served.
Yeah.
It was fine for them to at least try to like what the hostess served. And be respectful and be appreciative, and trying things. How often would you say that they actually did like what they had tried, but they didn't like the look of it?
80% of the time.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with our strong-willed child. He was more of a, meh, I don't like it. I don't want to eat it.
However, we stuck to the rule.
Yeah.
If he chewed it, swallowed it, verified it, okay, you don't have to eat it, but you're not getting, if there was dessert, we didn't always have dessert, but don't be asking for snacks, don't be asking for, and you're gonna have to eat the rest of what's on your plate.
Yeah,
besides.
And he was happy usually to eat whatever else was on his plate.
Yeah.
We didn't penalize him. We let him have extra of the things that he ate from his plate
that he would eat. Yeah.
But dessert was not an option.
Yeah.
And he didn't die.
Nope. And he was okay with that.
Yeah.
He learned to live with it. But I digressed a little bit, so I apologize. But there's a reason, okay? In order to talk about parenting your adult child, you need to understand that the helicopter model does not work, never worked, will not work, and will not ever effectively work because helicopter parents have this bad habit. You helicopter parent your kid as a kid, and then you helicopter parent them as an adult. Why? Because you've taught them dependence, not independence.
And let me tell you something. We have daughter-in-laws now, and it does not bode well with the daughter-in-laws when the parents are telling them what they need to be doing.
When you stick your nose where it doesn't belong.
As well as, our son-in-laws to their in-laws. And there's been a few things that have, they haven't loved about their, that their in-laws have said. So the more that you can allow and remind yourself that it's their job to, be their version of an adult.
Yeah.
Or, we have a lot of conversations with our boys, but we never tell
adults.
them. Right. We never tell them what to do. If I really feel passionate enough, if I'm upset about something, I will call my sons and I will say, can I make a suggestion? Now, I'm asking for their permission as a fellow adult, and they appreciate it. I can't think of any time that my sons didn't at least hear me out. And if they'll just listen, I don't expect them to do everything the way I think it should be done. I'm not them. And frankly, how many of us when we're 20 years old or, in our 20s, do we know what we're doing? Yeah. We're just kind of floating along, trying things out, We're all like that. So give your kids some grace. They don't have to do everything the way you're doing it in your 40s or late 40s or 50s or 60s if you were a late bloomer, They're just not going to do it that way. And they're different people.
So that leads us into number 2. That was number 1. So number 2 is coaching, not parenting. So, she talked about how she'll call the kids if... Now, the daughter-in-laws, we never talk to or correct that way.
No.
That is up to their parents. And we don't want those girls to ever think that we feel they need us to parent them, okay? So, because really that's something we taught the boys to deal with within their own marriages. Mm-hmm. So coaching, not parenting, means that I got news for you. I may be the dad, but I'm not a parent anymore. I'm a coach, which means that I listen, okay? Which means that if I see my kids doing something with their kids or within their marriage, which I guarantee you I've already seen multiple times, and I don't agree with it, unless they ask, I zip it. Why? Because it is not my house, it's not my rules, and it's not my business. Mm-hmm. Now, there are times when, there have been times, I should say, when there are serious disagreements between my sons and I, all right? And what we've built, or what I built, was what I call a one and done, all right? And what that simply does is we will have a nose-to-nose, all right, son, this is exactly how I feel about this. And I do not pull any punches, and I am not kind and nice about it.
You're
However,
not mean.
I'm very pointed,
You're
and
direct.
they know, my sons know exactly where I stand, okay? The whole idea behind a one and done is we're going to have that conversation one time. And after that, we're going to continue on with our relationship. And we don't have to ever talk about it again unless they bring it up, because I won't. So the whole idea is that I'm able to coach through that, and a lot of times I only really give them any info when they ask. I wait for them to ask, because there's plenty of times I'd like to have said something, but I'm not a parent anymore. That's not my job. My job is to guide when they want the guidance, not hover. I don't understand these in-laws or these other parents who are like,
you need to do it like this.
You need to do this. No, you need to shut up, because, my mother-in-law is a wonderful woman, but I'm going to tell you straight up that we had some issues in the beginning, and I had to back her right up on it, because it was like, and I don't mean back her up as she was right. I had to get right up in her face, basically, and say, that's not happening here.
Well, you were just very
figuratively.
Firm with her. You were firm with her, and you let her know that was not okay with you.
That is not okay.
And she had to learn, because she had one child, so she was still, for some reason, still trying to parent me, because I had made some bad choices. So, as a parent, you do need to have grace with yourself and not get down on yourself. If you've done some of the things that we've already talked about here, it's okay. Go to your kid, apologize, and then correct your ways. It's as simple as that. Just like when they were kids and you wanted an apology from them, give it to them.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law, by the way, have a great relationship now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's been many things that she's apologized to Mike about because she was wrong. And Mike appreciates her for that because she was humble enough to do so. So if you're a parent and you're saying you're sorry and you're changing your behavior, move on. Don't worry about it. We all make mistakes. I mean, there's been a couple of times where when our first son got married that I stuck my nose in a few times and I was not in the right. And I offended his wife. And I had to apologize, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I believe that she respects me more now because I was willing to notice, or when my son called and said, "Hey Mom, did you realize?" And I'd be like, yeah, I see what you're saying. And he was right.
Yeah. So that leads us to number 3, and then we'll close this out. So you made mistakes as a kid and you lived to tell the tale. You lived through spankings. You lived through, timeouts, which in my opinion are a complete waste of your time and your kids' time. But that's neither here nor there. So you lived. You survived. Now, I'm not talking about abuse situations. All right? I'm talking about normal childhoods. My dad told me I was stupid every day, and yet here I am. I successfully fathered my kids the way I should. All right. Did I make mistakes? Sure, I made mistakes. Jiminy Christmas. I'd be a liar to say I got it all right.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I gave 110% to my marriage, to this marriage, and to my kids. All right. And I made plenty of mistakes, and there were plenty of times I wasn't there when I should have been. But you better believe at the end of the day, I know I did everything I could because I survived, and I knew they would.
Yeah. So, boiling this all down, it's none of your business what they do or don't do. You might not want to see them do X, Y, or Z. You may not want to see them go through the troubles that they're putting in their own path. But frankly, that's how people learn. And the young 20-year-olds, even sometimes the 30-year-olds, they have to get a good slap from somebody other than mom and dad to be able to realize. Now, if they are, like I said, or like Mike said, if there's an abuse situation going on and one of your children is abusing their spouse or their children, that's something that you do need to say something about. Absolutely 100%. We are not talking about abuse situations. We are only talking about things that, that
would
they
be
just have to
considered
learn.
normal.
Yeah. Normal things that people go through.
Really, the title of this one shouldn't be "Should you parent your adult child?" It should be "Quit parenting your adult child."
Yeah, that's so true. All right, well, that's all we have for today. We're very thankful that you were here with us today. And hey, if you are loving these videos, please like them. Please make a comment. Share them if you see fit. We'd love it. So we will talk to you again soon. Bye.